Q?
The Guild and Bene Gesserit believe we produce artifacts. In reality, we produce tools and services. Anything can be a tool. Poverty, war. War is useful because it is effective in so many areas. It stimulates the metabolism. It enforces government. It diffuses genetic strains. It possesses a vitality such as nothing else in the universe. Only those who recognize the value of war and exercise it have any degree of self-determination. Bijaz, Dune Messiah. Welcome back to the Dune Saga, everyone. This is Season 3 of our Dune campaign here on the Stolen Fires channel. I am Eric at Modern Recluse Online, your games master for this epic multi-arc adventure series, which continues tonight with our 5th storyline, Leviathan. As a content warning, this program features adult situations and language and may not be suitable for all ages, so listener discretion is advised. A very warm welcome and salutation to new and viewers alike, new and old viewers alike on the Stolen Fires channel here on Twitch, where there's always a Let's Play or an awesome RPG live play to look forward to. In the way of special music shoutouts, they go out to Pixabay, Infraction, aka Kevin MacLeod, for Midnight Tale, Repulsive Sound, Coag Music, Tabletop Audio, and Blear Moon. Many thanks to Modifius Entertainment for making awesome games for us to play. I want to thank Roll20 as well for the use of their virtual tabletop platform, which is perfect for hosting games like Dune Adventures in the Imperium. And as always, we want to give a big thanks to our viewers and fans for tuning in. Our house entourage is here and ready to engage in the deadliest of intrigues. Agents of the Imperium, remind our audience who you are, where they can find you online, and who you will be playing this evening. Beginning with Leo.
Hello, my name is Leo. You can find me here on Twitch at Leo of the Black, where I play video games and do all sorts of kind of cool stuff. And today I'll be playing for you General Archibald. Schemer scheming has been scheming. Let's just say that.
Excellent. Aaron.
Hello, everyone. I am Aaron. My pronouns are anything except he, him. You can find pretty much everywhere at Great Cthulhu in some fashion. Tonight, I will be playing Eloise Cheshire, whose pronouns are she, her.
Excellent. Devin.
Hello one, hello all. I am Devin. You can find me online at Sword is Sullied, and tonight I am playing Norma, the ex-Bene Gesserit, and now not Norma.
Ambrose.
Hey everybody, I'm Ambrose. My pronouns are he or they. You can find me all over the internet as Amchangeling and on Etsy at Thornkind. And I may or may not have just put some of my designs on Printful, and now you can get them on like hoodies and shirts and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. And tonight I will be playing a name that I didn't put in Zoom, but his name is Zoshir Tamer, and he knows a secret.
Excellent. Last but not least, of course, Rachel.
Hello, my name is Rachel. You can find me Stolen Fires pretty much everywhere. And I play Lady Daphne, who's gonna have an interesting time of it tonight, no matter what happens.
She is. Okay. Now for a very short recap for last week's episode, if you would do the honors, Ambrose.
Norma Senva is dead. So states the report sent by the last surviving Bene Gesserit from Caladan, who does not live long enough to deliver her report in person. What a shame. Mahaim's revenge against Norma for hiding information about Kyra is complete. Conky Sen, the new envoy for House Cheshire, sneaks back onto Arrakis with the help of Pardo Reed. On the way to the spaceport, Daphne gives Pardo his new assignments, delivering intel on Raban's plans to Kyra and Stilgar. And a question for Kyra. Daphne's thrown by Conky's bubbly greeting, as is everyone else really, but Norma reveals herself once the sound dampener turns on. Daphne's relieved Norma isn't really dead, and tells her to get into Yeva's good graces. Later, Daphne delivers gifts to the Fenring. Thanks for their kindness. Margot's gift comes wrapped in a fine handkerchief. A message to Mossum. I'm sorry I cannot create the world you want and deserve. I'm doing the best I can. You always have my love. At the palace, a guild envoy demands the marshal's attention. He guides them to Eloise's rooms, but they're not there for her. Edric wishes to speak with Mira. And he's in orbit above Arrakis. Eloise, recognizing Bene Gesserit among the entourage, insists on going. Pardo sends Zoshir to observe and protect. He's reluctant to leave Arrakis, but has little choice. Only Amira is allowed in Edric's presence. He floats in a plasteel tank, greeting her as the famous Amira who kills for the guild, as often as she kills for love. Nexus points swirl around Arrakis, creating uncertainty for the navigators. Should Amira eliminate those nexus points, Eloise will have as much spice as she needs for the rest of her life. Refuse, and they both die. Mira has little choice and accepts. Edric, pleased but cautious, hands over a poisoned dagger and a communinet. Her first target? Kyra Iasi. Amira keeps her face relaxed around Eloise. She just wants to leave, and Zoshir is quite happy to return to the sands of Arrakis. Eloise thanks him for the risk he took. Amira will not reveal to Eloise what has happened, but soon Zoshir finds himself drawn into a nook. Amira demands to know who Kyra is. Zoshir, thrown at first, reveals Daphne and Mossum are her children. Amira insists she has an urgent message, a matter of life or death, and Zoshir flies them to Kyra's siege. The Fremen recognize the heraldry and make them welcome. Elsewhere, Archibald, Daphne, and Conky travel to Jabberwock. Archibald decides Conky is trustworthy. The crowd meeting Daphne is displeased, and Omelas nowhere to be seen. The truth is perhaps in Yeva's eyes, as she catches Daphne's. Yeva tells Archibald that Omelas is in the garden, awaiting a trial for treason. The warden greets them, escorting them to the viewing chamber. But as Alicia is brought out, Daphne does not see a sister resigned to her fate, only a desperate and confused woman. She asks for a few moments to get Alicia's last words, which the warden grants. Alicia doesn't recognize her name when Daphne speaks it, nor does she know her sister. She insists on her innocence. She doesn't know what's going on, but she doesn't have the signs of an Ixian probe, nor the scar of a childhood wound on her thumb. Conky touches her, remarking on such baby soft skin, almost like it's brand new. Daphne takes her concerns to the warden. She won't tell him how to do his job, but the woman he has is not Alicia. He's flabbergasted by the assertions, but with Conky backing up Daphne, orders the room cleared, and this Alicia taken back to her cells. Daphne swears on her mother's grave she wants justice brought to Adelaide's murderer, but this woman didn't do it. The warden swears he'll investigate. Alicia Idaho remains in prison. Her execution stayed for now. outside the cells. Archibald tries to insist that this is a new beginning for Daphne, a new Alicia. He presses the point hard, and Daphne loses her temper. Her sister died 12 years ago. Whoever the woman in the cells is, it's not Kat, the person who stabbed her mother, but neither is she the sister Daphne grew up with. Daphne contemplates the political implications of the choices before her. She won't let an innocent die whose hand never touched the knife that ended her mother's life. But she can't let this Alicia free, not when the populace thinks so poorly of her. This Alicia will stay here, for now, officially on a stay of execution until questions find answers. Fortunately, she has an advisor here, and brings Conky to visit Omelas. She and Omelas are a bit wary of each other until Daphne explains she was partaking in Cheshire traditional pretense. All three people here trust each other. Pretense dropped. Omelas says he's here on false charges perpetrated by Yeva. He doesn't know anything about the false Alicia, but asks Daphne to tell Pardo to erase any communication he has regarding the hexagon. Daphne doesn't know what that is, but trusts it's a code word between her mentats. He insists she not use her influence to free him. He can do that on his own. Daphne explains the situation regarding Kyra, while Norma describes the Bene Gesserit schism. Omelas is dismayed to learn Mossam is with his father, and Conky speaks of him as a potential Kwisatz Haderach. With little else to relate, Norma leaves with a slap to Omelas as Daphne slams his cell door with an "This is all your fault." As the door shuts, Omelas can't help but smirk to himself. Daphne takes the next few days to tour Jabberwock, doing her best to comfort and uplift the populace. Conky copies the ciphered evidence against Omelas. Archibald also visits Omelas, who's surprised to see him. He gets the truth out of the mentat, that he and Yeva haven't given any reason for Daphne to trust them, and so he arrived here as both steward of Jabberwock and her agent. But neither did Omelas try to have Archibald murdered. He issues a subtle threat regarding what will happen when the truth comes out, as it so often does. Archibald is most interested to know who actually tried to have him killed. Before leaving Jabberwock, Archibald speaks with Alicia, the real one, hidden in a wasteland. She wants him to be direct and says she was never conditioned, merely shown the truth. She's full of anger and resentment to her whole family. Archibald strikes a deal, a life for a life. Alicia kills the surviving of Cardis twin, and everything is even between them. Back on Arrakis, Amira faces Kyra at her home siege. An understanding passes between them. Perhaps Kyra has foreseen this encounter and how it ends. She wants to know one thing. Is Amira acting out of love? She is. But then she sees Zoshir and questions him as well. Zoshir steps between the two, saying he's here to protect Kyra as he draws his crysknife. But Kyra bids him stand down. All she sees of the future is inescapable death. Not even Mossam is safe even with his father. At least Amira acts out of love. And if Zoshir intervenes, 2 will die today instead of 1. And Zoshir's people need him. Amira has water in her eyes as she says, "The future is a terrible burden, especially to those who can see it." Kyra resorts to using her authority as a Sayadina. Zoshir nicks Kyra, sheaths his knife, spits on the ground, and then tells Amira her water is not worth stealing before he leaves. "Do what you must, my dear," says Kyra. "I won't stop you." Amira pauses, aware of how many futures are possible. She wants to know what the future is like if they both live. Death for Eloise. From the guild, from spice addiction, from the sisterhood. That's all Amira needed to know. Kyra closes her eyes as the end comes. Amira cutting as mercifully as she can. Her last words are, "Tell them I love them and watch over them. They'll need your protection and your care. And protect Zoshir as well, because the Mahdi has long been foretold to come from outside Arrakis and not from within Arrakis."
Excellent. Thank you for reading that, Ambrose, and thank you as always to Rachel for the excellent note-taking. Now we can continue with our adventure with the Leviathan. Okay. I think we're going to continue exactly where we left off last week. So I'm going to need Zoshir and Amira. First, we'll start with Amira.
Oh, no.
As you're doing the deed, Kyra collapses onto the floor, just short of, as you're watching her bleed out. And you become aware of, after Zoshir has left, of another figure entering the room from the far side through the curtain. Another Sayadina. That being Norma, the Sayadina that you probably are not aware of, but Kyra certainly is. She stops for a moment and freezes in her tracks when she sees you with the blade drawn and with Kyra bleeding out on the floor. Kyra is still not completely dead, notices Norma, and makes a motion, unable to speak, makes a motion with her hands. This is the language of 2 seasoned Bene Gesserits. There seems to be a flash of anger and frustration that comes across Mermis's face before finally she sees what's happening and understands what has to be done. At first, her initial inclination towards Amira is violence, but Kyra quells it with a hand and then beckons her to come forward. The Sayadina rushes forward with grace and immediately presses her forehead against Kyra's. Something transpires between the two, and the woman screams, blood gushing down her nose, and she collapses onto the floor. At Amira's mercy, presumably. You hear the scream behind you, Zoshir, but it's not Kyra's. But so do the other face dancers and adherents to Kyra's siege. The face dancers step out of the shadows and point weapons at you. They immediately notice that there's blood on your hands or around your sheath where your crisp knife is sheathed. "Arms high," they say. Amira, what do you do in this particular situation?
So first instinct is to make herself scarce. But unfortunately her ride was Zoshir. I
So it's
think
a race to the ornithopter.
No, because he was gonna foot it all the way back. He's gonna go by Sandworm and
That's right. You were gonna go
Siege.
by
Yeah.
Worm.
Oh, okay.
fair
Yeah,
enough.
then since that, yes. So, yeah, Amir is gonna make scarce to try to get it to the ornithopter.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to make a stealth roll if you have the focus.
I certainly do and move.
Excellent. And this is going to be contrasted versus the Fremen that are there, which are fanatical, the fanatical adherents to Kyra, which means your difficulty is 4.
Oh,
If you fail, you're going to have to fight your way out.
okay. We have no momentum, do we?
None. You can always pay
Great.
me for extra threat, however.
Drea gave you benevolence, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
That's
you,
good.
Drea.
Because I also you should probably make note that I have 1 malevolence in my gas tank.
He's also got a shit ton of threat too, so
Starting
Uh,
threat.
Yeah, I would like to purchase some threats to get some dice. That'd be nice.
Sure. How much would you like?
2 dice would be divine, I think.
2. All right. So you're paying 3 threat. Fantastic.
Sounds good. Great. Sorry, everyone.
I mean, it's Eloise who's gonna suffer.
That's
yeah,
Hey, already has been.
True.
I'm high
All
on the
right. You have 2
x-axis.
extra dice to your roll.
All right. I'm going to use. I think I'm going to use faith because I trust my heart, not my head.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right. Faith. 4 dice. Focus. Yes. Oh please. Oh please. Oh please. Hell yeah.
or
Wow.
complication.
Right on the money. Okay.
Oh, that's
So
wait. 5? Oh, never mind. No, okay. I read the wrong
it's
number.
just 4.
It's 4.
Just
Sorry.
4. But that's perfect. That's exactly what you needed. So
Yeah.
you disappear as you typically do in situations like this. You saw the other side of Dina come in through a curtain, and you heard commotion on the other side where Zoshir exited. So you went the other direction. So now you're both going in 2 different directions within the siege. You could probably find your way out of here on some level. So you stick to the shadows, and you kind of like, find places to hide, small unoccupied rooms, and you hear a commotion as people are rushing past you as they realize something has happened. Zoshir, your turn to respond. You have face dancers and Fremen pointing Moloch pistols at you, demanding, like, what the hell just happened?
You know as much as I do.
They
I
both
heard the
look at
scream
each
when
other.
you do.
You're pretending to lie to them. Go ahead and give me a communication roll, please. Same difficulty.
Oh no, these face dancers look pretty smart.
Ah, where's my character sheet? There it is. Oh boy.
For some reason, I don't think deceit is one of Zoshir's focuses.
It is not. You said that was communicate?
Yeah, communication. So you want to try to communicate that you have no knowledge of what just happened, like you're just passing by. No, you know better than that, however.
Let's see. I know this is ironic, but I'm gonna use truth because my statement is the greatest truth is destiny.
Okay.
And whatever they
this
decide
relates to
is...
truth. That's fine. That's actually pretty appropriate.
Oh, what's going on, Roll20? What are you doing to me? It's not showing me my other options. Just faith and power. That's weird. Give me my other options.
What are your other options?
Uh,
Oh no, has it rigged your character sheet so that you can only choose violence?
no, it's only letting me choose faith or power. That's weird. The drop down's being funky.
Whoa, hold on, let me take a look at it. Pause.
Yeah, I would say
Time
try
out.
try reloading or clear your cache.
I don't have any cash.
Well, another feeling. Communicate. Okay, so you have all I have all of them here available. Which
Yeah,
one you
it's
wanted to use truth?
yeah.
Are you
It may just be my
purchasing
tablet.
any? That's fine.
Purchasing
Are you
any
using
threat?
Yeah.
Don't you have enough? Nah, let's do this bear and see what happens.
Ooh, that's gutsy. All right. You have no focus here, so let's see what you come up with.
I mean,
Oh, that's 2 zeros.
oof.
Hmm. Well, okay. So you were like I don't. They obviously don't believe you, and they don't let you finish the sentence before they draw their blades and move towards you.
Drea,
What were you saying, Aaron?
Drea just gave Zoshir benevolence.
Oh, that's so
Ooh, well,
nice.
you can use that to re-roll if you want to re-roll both those dice.
Let's do that.
Need to get really lucky, however, and also if you have a point of determination, I would recommend that you use it now.
I'm gonna
If
do
you're going
that.
to do that, however.
I'm
Okay.
gonna do that.
I would
Does
wait.
that just gives me a reroll? I thought.
No, what it allows you to do is to turn one of your dice into a 1 automatically, which means you get 2 successes. Now, currently, you're only rolling 2 dice. You can get an extra one if you pay me a threat, however.
You know, it's the holidays. Why not?
You're right. It is the holidays, and I'm feeling very giving right now.
Swear
So,
to God, he's gonna nuke someone with those.
so
That's what the stone burner's
you
for.
right? Make it rain. So you rolled 3 dice this time, and look at that. You get 3 successes.
Yes.
And actually, one of them counts as 2 if you're spending a determination point, which means you get 4.
Yes.
Very good. So you bet it right on the money.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know what I just work here. And
I
they're like,
just-
get out of the way. They push you out of the way and they rush past you. 1 second. I need to make a roll for one of them in particular, who is a major character.
Why is Gwillian here?
Don't you know? They're all William. Shut up. Faith.
It's like Tiberii. They're all Tiberii.
Precisely. Now you're getting it.
Yeah.
This.
Also, thank you, Trey, for saving my life.
2, 4. Okay, so you managed to fool the majority of the other Fremen that are there. That are always constantly watching for stuff, but what seems to be the head face dancer does notice that there's something awry going on. So you're like, I don't know what's going on here. Just leave me alone. You just try to walk. You move past them, and as you're making your way out to the main chamber where that houses, big circular chamber that houses the ornithopter, that has like the big awning that opens up at the top. Somebody grabs you out of the shadows and just puts the maul pistol or like the flechette dart gun like right underneath your throat, just like. And you see for a moment, like you think it's a mirror, but then like the face and everything, all the features change, and it's very obviously a face dancer, someone of senior stature. And there's a cadre of other ones near the ornithopter as well. And they're like, "Show me your hands."
Zoshir will very slowly hold up his hands.
Excellent. Yeah, you don't have to deal with the Fremen, but you're gonna have to deal with him at the moment. 1 second. He notices the blood on your hands, and his eyes go wide, and he says something in the Islamic language to the other face dancers, and they all sort of like look at each other and whisper, and they're like, "So what she said is true. You are the one. You called her out."
Excuse me?
You know what he's talking about. He's using Fremen parlance with you. When a Fremen calls out a Naib, such as Kyra, and wins in combat, they become the Naib instead.
I did no such thing.
You certainly did. He looks at the sheet with the blood trailing down from it. These are Tleilaxu face dancers. If anybody can get DNA and confirm that that's Kyra's blood on your blade, which
Shit.
it is, it's them.
Zoshir just
Maybe
suddenly... He's wondering if Kyra did that on purpose now?
Well, remember, she said that she foresaw this as happening, as a possibility. And here we are.
Shit.
You may be able to fool the other Fremen here in this siege, but you won't fool me. He's like, what Kyra said would happen did happen. She said that the one that would come here to bring an end to her would be the one that we would have to follow. You call her out appropriately, I would imagine. You were the one who ended her life.
It would be dishonorable of me to claim that I did such a thing.
Why would you say
I
that?
would be claiming... It is not my status to claim. The one you seek, her name is Amira.
Ah. So you're going to shift that onto someone else. We don't recognize this Amira. Is she Fremen?
No. She is Guild.
She is Outframe. Outframe cannot call out a Naib. You're saying that an Outframe assassinated a Naib that we were all sworn to protect?
It's much more complicated than that. Kyra requested
Uncomplicated
it.
for me.
Kyra requested it to save a life. To save many lives. Believe me, I would not have stood idly by and watched an Outframe kill a Sayadina who is also Naib.
You're lying.
Oh,
Believe me, I'm a very good liar. I can tell.
so you think I'm lying about this guild member? This Outframe?
I think you're trying to shuck your responsibility as Naib of this siege.
Both things are true.
Huh.
I am no leader, but I am also not the one who would kill a Sayadina Naib.
He is the one. You see one of the other face dancers says, Kyra told us this would happen. He will take her water, and then he will deny the responsibility of taking that water.
Oh my
What
god!
other kind of leader? What other kind of leader would you prefer, Mirlat? One of the other face dancers questions the head face dancer. He's like, "His conversation isn't over, Zoshir Tamir." And it's like
Well.
he listens into like a communinet thing, like for security. And it's like the other Fremen are telling him like, yeah, Kyra's dead and the other side Dina's on the floor unconscious and bleeding out of her nose. We don't know what the hell's happening here. But Yellen's alive. No other sign of the other person that came in with Tamir. And he's like, you came here with a guild assassin? We'll find her. As for you, you stay. You're the Naib here now. Nothing else matters.
I do have
What
duties.
do you command? Yes, as a Naib of Sihaya Tabir. What is your command? Know that out of character stuff. When you become a Naib of the Fremen, it's kind of a huge fucking deal. That means you're on a council essentially, and like you can tell people to fuck off, but you cannot, undo this thing that has happened. Unless you really, if you say that, oh no, it was some other person who killed her, etc. Like, then there will those who still believe that you're the Naib and you won by right of combat will challenge you for it.
Oh shit.
Yeah. More lives wasted. So you can play however you
Yay.
like. You can be like, I don't want to be the Naib. And then somebody else can go, cool, I challenge you for it now. Or you could say, I accept it, and then, take all the baggage that comes with that.
He's gonna pull this other Tlilaxu aside for a second, just away from the others.
Sure.
Look, I promise you on my water that I will return. But I need to speak with someone very important. I
You
have
can speak whoever you like. You're the Naib now. As you will. Your ornithopter awaits. Kyra's adherents are your adherents now. We follow your rule. You are the one who will lead us from now on. She prepared us for this, and we are prepared to follow in your command.
Did she happen to tell you anything else at all that I would need to know?
She told us a great many things. She told us a great many things. And it matters not that you do not know these things. She left a journal, after all, and she left us as willing testament of her will. But if Kyra is dead and this other companion of yours is in the wind, we will need to take care of matters first here, as is the tradition. We will need to prepare her body for the stills. But any message you want to get out outside of the siege, we can facilitate.
Don't place her in the stills just yet. I suppose, get a message to the House Cheshire. Kyra's daughter needs to see. Yes.
Oh.
She needs to see her mother before we honor her.
As you will. And they make this motion. And he tells the other one, he's like, my name is Mirlat. And I'm at your command. And so are and through me, the face stances will adhere to your wishes.
Ambrose had no shit moment.
How did you want to send the communication? Did you want to just send somebody in an ornithopter, or did you want to send it a different manner?
Two ways in case of interception. One, distrans to Hurdy. Secondary ornithopter. Because Harkonnen.
Okay. So, sure. So they prepare the Cielago to fly out to carry the message to Hurdy, while another group prepares to go to the ornithopter. Does Amira take off in the ornithopter before them, though, or does she stow away in the back where nobody can see her?
Okay, I think stowaway, yes, and then she'll wait to see where she's being taken and decide if she's gonna take over.
You overhear them as they're preparing.
Perfect. If she's going back to House Cheshire, chef's kiss.
Perfect. Wonderful. Yeah, they don't notice you the whole trip there, so you're safe in that regard. Wow. Okay, excellent. Now, moving along. Let's see. Back to the palace. Daphne and Archibald. Or sorry, this is back to Jabberwock. You're still on Jabberwock, if I recall. You're going to have to make the trip to Arrakis at some point. You spent some time kissing babies and shaking hands on Jabberwock, as you did, Daphne, and enduring Yeva and her sycophantic entourage. Archibald, you see that there's a lot of chit chat between Yeva and these other socialites while Daphne and her people are here on Jabberwock. Is there anything in Conquest? Of course, you're part of that entourage for Daphne. Is there anything any of you do while you're on Jabberwock before you head back to Arrakis?
You go first, Daphne. I'll go after.
I'm going to go back to the garden. I'm going to check in with the warden and see if he has discovered any new information.
Oh. You go back to the warden and you see like they've just launched this investigation a few days ago. And they've been looking into, any possibilities of intrusion. They did find some things that were out of order with regards to like shifts and um, you know, doorway entryways and places in the facility that shouldn't have been breached, and yet they were. It shows clearly that they found a way that somebody had managed to make their way inside and get access to Alicia's cell. They discovered that one of the ways they did that was to pay one of the guards in Spice to stay home, basically on the day that the swap occurred. So they basically drugged Alicia, kidnapped her out of her cell, and in the same day they placed Double in her cell. It sounds like. After that, they basically left it as it is. They took the clothes off, put it on the dupe, and off they went to where no one knows, of course. They were whoever these people were very proficient. They were able to take the place of the guard that is typically working that wing of the prison and handing those inmates to a T, which means face dancers, which of course means Talaxu.
Well, that's unfortunate. Is there any indication on who might have paid the face dancers?
Unfortunately, no. The guard that was compromised has already been dealt with. We've interrogated him thoroughly over the course of the last 48 hours, and we've not. Well, it's impossible to tell who this face dancer, this facilitator was that made it so that these face dancers would be able to infiltrate the facility. We don't know who we're dealing with exactly, but somebody is pulling their strings. It doesn't make sense for the Tailaxu to do this unless we're paid an obscene amount of melange in exchange for the trouble.
Indeed.
Golas and clones in general are very expensive.
Daphne just starts doing a mental roster of who do I know who has that much spice to throw around.
Oh, he's okay. He said Solaris, but
Okay.
So whoever did it had a lot of money.
Alright, still same like, alright, who's got that much
Sure.
money to throw around? The list is longer.
Yeah, the aristocracy obviously is your immediate guess.
It could be
He has so
Yeva.
many enemies.
It could be Yeva. Daphne suspects Yeva of being behind every bad thing that happens to her.
Not a bad place to start, certainly.
Alright. Daphne will say, well, I'm confident that you can get to the bottom of this mystery. What do you plan to do with the clone?
This is where he starts to a little bit. I mean, he's obviously very nervous about having to give you this whole presentation. You're the Duchess after all. But when you ask him what he's going to do with the prisoner, he's like, she's technically innocent of any charges. That's not actually your sister. I suppose the question should really be posed to you, Your Grace.
It would be difficult for me to answer that question. This is your job. I'm not going to tell you how to do your job.
Of course.
If you decided to release her, we'd make a place for her. She wouldn't be turned out on the streets.
Understood. He's like, well, I would probably give this back to the Rad, and their courts can decide what to do. This is a very unusual situation, I understand. They would have to review her case, and pending that, she could very well be released. it will be out of my hands, obviously. But I will contact the Sisselrad and let them know what occurred here and hand over a copy of our investigation. You, of course, are free to take a copy for yourself or for your house purposes, for records. And of course, I will ensure that any missives with updates are sent directly to you. Should I be sending them as well to the palace, Your Grace, or should I be attempting to contact you on Arrakis? I'm not familiar with the current situation
Send
of your
them
house
to
and your entourage.
Send them to my mentat, and she'll give Pardo Reed's contact information.
On Arrakis? Very well,
Yes.
of course.
But she'll take the copy right now. It's a good idea, the Sisselrad. I'd like to say goodbye to her, if that's all right.
Of course. As you will. They'll let you have free reign. They just let you, go down the corridor, and they open up the cell electronically, and you see Clone Alicia, Felicia, whatever you want to call her. She's sitting on like a very bare, concrete-looking bench, and she's just looking confused, and she's kind of like she's cold. Obviously, these are not optimal living conditions in a prison of this type, and so she's just kind of curled up, cold, shivering. This confused look on her face. You've seen this look before. You enter into the room.
Mm-hmm.
She turns away, light spilling into otherwise darkened room.
I'm not here to hurt you.
No response.
Have they told you what's going to happen to you?
They say I'm going to die. They're going to execute me.
You're not who they thought you were, so that's unlikely.
Is this your doing or theirs?
It is the truth. The only part of it
a glance.
The only part of it that's my doing is asking to find out the truth.
The truth is, I'm sorry for what happened to your mother. Whoever did that should be punished, but I didn't do those things. I don't even know who I am.
It's been more or less proven. Your case will be brought before the Sisselrad, a organization of leaders, and they'll weigh the evidence, and they'll decide what to do, but I can't imagine many of them being eager to execute you for no reason.
Who am I? She says to you.
You are a copy of a woman named Alicia, though I suspect neither of us want you to have that name.
He gets up and ventures a glance into the very shoddy-looking mirror on the wall, not understanding the face that stares back at her. There's cracks in that glass, and her reflection is disrupted. And she tries to look for some semblance of some memory contained inside that reflection. Finds none. Do you think I could be a good person?
I think everybody in the Imperium has the capacity to be a good person, especially you.
Why did your sister kill your mother like that?
She suffered, and she blamed my mother for her suffering.
It's terrible. so sorry. I hope they catch her and you get the justice that your family deserves.
I appreciate that, thank you. If they do release you, I'll find a place for you if you want. If you don't, I'll find somewhere to set you up where you can live a life of relative peace.
You know, it's like, she wipes away tears. She's like, I would like that. Thank you. Thank you, Duchess Daphne.
What should I call you? Do you want to keep that name? Do you want a new one?
I don't think I should take the name of a murderer. I don't know what to call myself.
Do you want the name of another innocent?
For now, I suppose, yes.
Then I'll call you Beatrice.
Oh,
Oh.
excellent. Just give yourself a point of advancement for that, because it's too good.
Oh. That was a good one.
Beatrice, that is a lovely name. Thank you. She doesn't know what to say. She's kind of like at a loss for words. Like, you know, she woke up a week ago or whatever, and you know, she doesn't remember who she is, and she's been sentenced to death, and now all this stuff, and now you're like, okay, you might be okay to go soon, you know, and if you are released, I'll set you up somehow.
Yeah, Daphne will say she's got to get to the spaceport soon to get back to Arrakis, but she'll spend like an hour or two telling Beatrice her memories, her childhood memories of Alicia.
Oh, so you're telling her what you remember of Alicia
Yeah, just
before
like
she went cuckoo
from a
for Cocoa
really young
Puffs?
childhood growing up, and
Okay.
tell her a little bit about Adelaide and Kyra too.
She feels a little more at ease when you talk to her about the person your sister was versus who your sister's become. And for the first time since you've seen this woman's face, but or it's the first time you've seen your sister's face, you see that there is a semblance of hope in her eyes. Like maybe this life, whatever it is that has brought her to this moment, will not continue to spiral downward as she was fully expecting it to be within the last few weeks. Like maybe there is a chance that things can get better. And she everything is kind of caught in her throat. Like she's not literally speechless, but she can't bring herself to reply in any intelligible way because she's just sort of dumbstruck by everything that's going on. But she does manage to squeak out through like this choked voice, thank you. She grabs your hands, at which point, like, you know, one of the guards who's like watching it through the comm eye like comes up and like opens up the door, and it's like, all right, hands off the guests. You know. And she reflexively just like, you know, takes her hands off of you. I'm sorry.
That's all right. The warden's going to keep me updated about what's going on with you, and I hope we get to see each other again sometime soon.
Yes, I would like that. Thank you, Daphne. So the guard's like, all right, it's enough out of you. I'm like, come with me, Your Grace. I'm like, you know, escorts you out.
All right. Yeah, that Daphne accomplished more than she expected.
Yeah, I'd say so. Excellent. Archibald. What's on the agenda?
Yes. So my first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a conversation with Yeva.
Oh, this will be good.
Oh yeah.
You find her in holding court with her entourage, as it were. They're laughing and giggling about the Duchess and such, speaking conspiratorially and, you know, verbally sniping her entourage behind closed doors. And you walk in. She rolls her eyes a little bit and says, I'll be right back. She gets up and walks towards you. My love, what has taken you so long?
To take care of some things. And you know, you could smile when you see me, not roll your eyes.
You don't do tell. I see that you took a bit of a roundabout way to get back to the palace, my dear. Did you finish your business with our friends? She says, emphasis on the friends part. You know, she's talking about the Tleilaxu.
Yes.
Has the spice payment been made?
Not yet. But it will
That's
be.
a problem.
I know. And it will
So
be.
when are we going to get the melange?
Soon. Very soon, actually.
Is that why you're bringing the Vengarian guard back with you to Arrakis?
By the way, like I said, out of character, he's very paranoid. His Ixion damper will be on. Making
Of
sure
course.
that's stated.
I unless you say otherwise, I'm just going to assume that you're doing that.
Okay. That's exactly why. And why don't you tell me what you're up to, Miss Opportunist?
What, who is up to?
You.
Oh. Just lounging around the palace. Thinking of ways to make Omelis' life a little difficult while he's in the guard.
Speaking of him,
Yes.
turns out he was an agent. With
So what you're saying is he confessed.
did?
How would you like to handle this, dear? Would you like to wait a few years for the courts to handle his treachery?
No.
Or should we seek a more expeditious route?
Expeditious. Because Daphne.
Very good.
Because Daphne at one point will send someone else. I would rather only have one spy in my house than two.
Well, we have our own way of dealing with spies in House Librius, don't we? She says, and she kind of toyingly, puts her hand on your chest, above your uniform, and just kind of playfully, traces a line on your face. Don't worry, I'll take care of things here on the home front. Just get the Vengarian guard back to Arrakis, secure the spy to our friends, make sure everything goes according to plan.
I'll also be getting you some backup just in case.
Backup? In case of what?
You know, the House Cheshire is very crafty. I'm gonna... And you'll see. Like I said, opportunistic. Just giving you more.
1 second. Bring up your character sheet. You're gonna need to make a discipline observation roll.
Discipline observation.
Yeah.
What would this be under? Truth, power, justice.
Truth makes sense.
Yeah, I could use my focus. 1 success.
Okay, cool. It's like I'm just having to consult my secret messages.
Hashtag eat Yeva.
Hashtag Yeva.
Yeet Yeva.
I mean, Archibald's doing the
Everything's cool.
opposite of yeeting her.
You feel a little nervous talking conspiratorially with Yeva like this, even with the dampener on, but you're like, whatever. Daphne's over there, you're not having to worry about it. So you continue with your conversation with her. 1 second.
Wait, Daphne was in the same room?
No.
Okay.
She's at the garden, remember?
Yeah, no, I assume you're smart enough not to have this conversation right in
no.
front of her.
Yeah, nobody would be. Yeah, no. I'd be making sure nobody's around.
Yep, just you two. You you tell her as much like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you some backup." She's like, "Am I at risk here? Is there something that you know that I don't?"
No, you're not at risk. I just want a sure thing.
Okay.
Rather to be over-prepared than under.
Yeah, are you proposing to leave some of the guard with me?
No, but you'll know in a couple days.
I see. Very good. I like surprises, he says. Oh, and by the way, I'm starting to put together some invitations to your rest of your family. Probably see something happening here with us within the next, 6 to 8 months, would you say? Should we tell them now, or should we wait for them to get back to Arrakis before we make our announcement?
Whatever you see fit.
Very well. I'm sure Daphne likes surprises as well. I'll be sure to indulge her. Good talking with you as always, my dear. She just shuts off the Ixian dampener and walks out of the office.
And I'm gonna kind of look at her, and I'm gonna be like, and I'm gonna give her the smile, like, you should smile when you see me next time.
Are you like smiling at her through your teeth, kind of smile, or like?
Yep, correct. And
Oh,
I'm like, this is how it's done.
Are we having buyer's remorse here, Leo? Well, you bought it. Okay.
Yes and no. I'm going to be out of character. I am taking a situation. I'm making the most of it.
Making lemonade. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
You mean you can always pour the lemonade out? I'm just saying.
Over the second story window, yeah. Yeah, Daphne, you come back to the palace. Unless there's anything specific that you want to do on Jabberwock, you can load your entourage back up onto the Hayliner and head back to Arrakis when you're ready. It'll take a few days.
Sounds good.
Better
Yeah.
part of a week, probably. Okay. In that time, while you're in transit to Arrakis, oh, sorry, you take some time and then you board. Conqui, is there something that you wanted to do while you are on Jabberwock or while you're on transit to Arrakis?
Conqui will go to Daphne, have a conversation, and Conqui will do as ordered.
What are you gonna tell Daphne?
That conversation.
Oh, so that they're coming after Omelis?
They're coming after Omelis, that she's actively going to use what Archibald just said as evidence to try him even faster and kill him.
Did you tell her about the pregnancy?
Oh yeah, do you tell her about that as well?
I will.
Haven't known thus far.
I will tell her that you need to move quickly before she starts to show.
Oh my.
Before she starts to show what?
I believe that Archibald has been rather busy.
I trust you to handle it the best way you see fit.
An accident, then.
She's not Bene Gesserit. She can't know for sure. I trust you to handle it the best way you see fit.
Oh, now things are gonna get dirty.
So, Eric, about the statement about Bene Gesserit abilities earlier, would I be able to concoct a little something? Or actually, you know what? I already have something. I don't even need to make it last. So, Conqui is going to add a little something to her food. She doesn't get an antidote.
Yikes. Okay, so
Jesus.
this is still, it's a nascent house, but it is a vassal to a major house. So they still have the same sort of security protocols. You'd be up against state-of-the-art poison snoopers to try to get this past the sensors and such, right? So this you'd have
Yes.
to go through some bit of trouble while you're on Jabberwock before you leave to go to Arrakis.
Well, she does
unless
hold
you,
her little conference with her friends. Does she have food and drink during that time frame?
Of course.
Well, I don't need to have it during an active meal where she's thinking about it. All I have to do is just slip it in. She's not expecting stealthy, wonderful movements from someone so chipper.
So you're trying to see if you can slip the residual poison into her drink while she's with company?
Mm-hmm.
And you being the the butterfly wallflower that you are, go ahead and that's gonna be a okay, you're gonna try to be smooth about this, so this is probably going to be in the realm of sleight of hand, so this is gonna be movement.
How about body
stealth.
control?
No, this is going to be like you're going to need to like wait for the right moment, or like drop it,
Okay.
or like do that trick where like you put it in like the palm of your hand and then you grab the glass and then you know what I mean.
All right, that's fair. Movement. All right. This is going to be duty because what must be done must be done.
1 second, I will need to make a contested roll for her because she doesn't want to die. Let's see. It's finally happening. Wow. Discipline observation. She has observation as a focus. So she's going to she's direct and driven. Okay. She does not have anything like constant watching or anything like that. So this is going to be I'm assuming this is going to either this is truth or power. I'm going to say power because she wants to hold on to it and doesn't want to die. I deserve better and more. And she's a major character, so 2 dice. And I've got so much threat. 1 moment.
Oh, shit.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. Escalation buying 1 to 3. So she's going to buy 1 at 1.
So
this is at 3, and then another. What is it? 2 per. 3 for the second one. Right.
It's 1 for the first, 2 for the second, 3 for the third. So I'm going in with no momentum to murder Yeva.
4. She's rolling 4 dice with a focus. 3. She's got 3 successes. No major. Oh, this is actually she gets a complication. She'll spend 2 threat to get rid of it, and I'll spend another 2 threat to increase it to 4.
4? Okay.
Yep.
Divide and conquer.
God, how long have you been holding on to that one for?
No, that was Drea. Drea comes up with this on the top of a hat.
Fuck. Can't top Drea, no way. Well done.
How much to buy a dice? a die?
Same. It's 1 for 1, 2 for 3.
Okay, then I will make this. Oh yeah, and I also get to re-roll one. So I'm going to make this. I'll spend I'll buy out 1 threat so that I have an extra one. So I'm rolling 3 dice.
Okay.
You said stealth, so I have a focus for that. And I get to re-roll one of them, depending on what it is. There's my 3. I'm going to re-roll that one that I failed on and do worse, but I'm going to spend my determination point because what must be done must be done. And that makes that 5 and 1 more roll because I get to possibly get that determination point back. I get it back.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, so you actually generate 1 momentum. Daphne, I would like to, because it's somewhat relevant, you give Norma the order. Give me an understand roll and let me know if you can generate at least 1 success. I'm sure you can, but
All
2
right.
success ideally, but if you get 1 or 2 successes.
Social awareness, house politics, Canley, do those apply?
House politics does apply.
Okay.
This is a political thing.
2.
2. It is. Okay. You give the order, and then as soon as you do, you remember the thing that your sister told you, the thing that House Carroll had levied against House Cheshire, which are responsible for infanticide. How does Daphne, does that just sort of like wash over her back at this point, or does it make her go, fuck?
So, one of Daphne's drives is I must shield those in my care. And upholding my house is everything. Omelis is here and alive, and she's got to protect the here and alive people. So she feels real fucking shitty about it. But that's also kind of why she gave a very mealy-mouthed order, like, do what you gotta do, Norma. So
Okay,
she
fair
can,
enough.
like, pretend she's not as responsible as she is.
Wow. Okay. Norma, you proceed expertly, just like as usual. You're all bubbly, like,
oh my goodness, it's so nice to meet you, Yeva. I haven't gotten the pleasure. My name is Conquest Sen. I have been just entered into this house, and it's just so wonderful. I mean, everyone's been so nice to me, and I mean, oh man, oh yeah. Also, it was really, really fun to actually get to see the garden. I mean, I did not know that they kept prisoners like that. I mean, did you see the girl who actually isn't the girl? I mean, it's just the weirdest thing.
She kind of looks at the rest of her, entourage there, and they're all just kind of like, "What the fuck let this lady in?" And they're like, "Oh yes, the garden. Yes, that was a long time ago now. Well, I think we're going to retire for the rest of the day, shall we? We shall
retire, but it's so early. I mean, there's so many things you can do.
The subject, my dear. We'll retire the subject.
Look at the big cats. We have such big cats out there.
Some of them giggle to themselves and look at each other like, wow, what, is this what's coming from Arrakis these days? Okay. And they all kind of get up and start walking around, and Yeva's like, yes, feel free to pet the cats as much as you like. Be careful,
thank
a few of them bite.
Oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. It's just such a nice place.
Yeva just kind of like grits her teeth and like, oh my god, Daphne's entourage, I swear. Then immediately like takes a drink and drops it at one of her servants as like platters. There goes that. With that out of the way, you proceed to gather your things and head out onto on the Highliner to head back to Arrakis. Unless there's anything specifically that you want to do while you're there, we'll have a short scene with Eloise and Amira upon her return to the palace. as these sort of things are happening around the same time.
Just for you, Yeva.
Eat the Yeva.
I did everything I wanted, and you know what? The best part about that is that it's going to be a nice, long, slow death because
How
it's
slow?
not. Residual poison will take a little while. Like it'll be about a month or so before it finally.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting.
So if she is pregnant, that is not going to happen. Like.
Well.
Okay, so
interesting things happen in the future.
Question.
Well.
So how this poison works? Does it kill her or does it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it's going to kill her.
It's a poison that stays in her person. It's not really easily detected, and if she's not given the antidote on a frequent basis,
it's the same thing.
It deteriorates her and she dies, and it looks like she just got sick.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they don't have a house sook, so.
Well, we kind of do, but he wasn't.
He's on Arrakis.
He's very busy.
Jabberwock.
Very busy.
Just exhuming all those Harkonnen bodies, you know.
Eloise has a really nasty hangnail that needs to be checked.
Well, yes. She returns back to the palace, and where does she find you when she does return? She probably does so like in the morning or in the afternoon.
Yeah, Eloise is probably in her quarters, doing readings with the tarot deck she was given.
She comes back in and she's like, it's. I'm gonna say that when she arrived at the palace, she took the time to send a message to the guild, to her contact at the embassy, to let them know, like, hey, this is done. And she comes back up to see you, and she's like, when is Daphne and the others supposed to arrive back on Arrakis?
I'm not sure. It's her sister's execution, so I don't know if she'll take time to grieve on Jabberwock or if she'll oversee the execution in return.
She seems uncharacteristically on edge.
What's wrong?
And at this point, would she actually share some of what she knows of what she's done on behalf of the guild?
Probably yes, just knowing that Eloise is going to sniff it out no matter what at this point.
Sure. So she tells you, but she tries to be vague about it. She's like, I had to do a thing for the guild. For us.
Okay.
There will be more.
Is there going to be blowback from this? Is that why you're nervous?
That is what I don't know.
Okay.
But we'll deal with it, right? Like we always do.
Yes. Whatever happens, I'm your shield. You're my blade.
She sits and just like takes a load off, and like hearing you say that kind of like lessens the cross she's bearing at the moment. A few days it's going to take like probably the better part of the week for Daphne and the rest of the entourage to return to Arrakis. In that time, she returns. You get something brought to you by the pages within the palace, like while you're just having breakfast one morning. It's already been scanned and looked at. They went over it with poison snoopers to make sure that it's not some sort of a trap or some sort of a trick. But it is from the guild. It is a box, and inside the box is a very large contingent of spice. Searching for the word right now. A stipend of melange for the next 6 months for you. Meanwhile, when Asmira sees this, she's like, I have to leave the palace for an hour, and I shall return shortly. She goes out into the Arakeen marketplace and meets with a very shady-looking guild representative atop of a building in shaded alcove. Deed's done. Your Sayadina is dead. Good, is the response. Here's your next target. Hands her a Redulian crystal. She pockets it, disappears into the crowd. Eventually, about an hour later, she pops into the side of a lane between this alleyway, between two buildings, and she, disappears behind a partition and pops the crystal into a reader. And the image that comes up, or the name that comes up for her next target, is Daphne Cheshire. And that's where we'll go on break, everyone.
Oh, I knew it was going to be someone of the family. I knew it.
Keep it in the family. Just keep it.
Gasp.
Knew it.
I fucking knew it.
The time is now 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. We shall return in 10 minutes, everybody. Stay tuned. right, welcome back. We have returned from our break. When we last left off, people were getting poisoned on Jabberwock, and plans were hatching. And we found out that Amira has her next target for the guild, and specifically for the third stage navigator Edric. It is Daphne Cheshire. Eloise, of course, received her 6-month stipend to last the whole rest of the year and then some, going into 10,192. Unless there's something specific that you want to do while you're at the palace, Eloise, we can continue with everybody getting back together on Arrakis from Jabberwock about a week or some days later.
There is one thing I'd like to do quickly.
Yes.
Given that I'm privy to our plans to raid the giant spice tower, and I'm also very aware of the guild satellites, I would like to call in some favors to maybe, because asking the satellites to be turned off completely, not going to happen. However, I can get Harkonnen placement and intel probably, yes?
Oh, you already have some, yeah.
Okay. I would like to call it a favor to get up-to-date intel as things happen.
Okay. I'm going to say this is kind of a risky when it comes to the difficulty. I'll say it's difficulty 2. Mostly challenging because it puts the person that you're asking a favor from at risk, since you're sort of persona non grata within the guild currently.
Okay.
And that because of your current standing with it, it will increase it to 3. So you need to make a communications check of 3 or higher to pull some. And I'll spend the point of threat for that.
Great. Thank you for
Actually,
that.
It's 2 points of threat. So yeah.
I have a question. Given that I've just received a large stipend of spice, can I possibly use this to use some spice to lower my difficulty? Say
Absolutely.
Spice Excellent.
Yeah. So you'll spend I don't know, a month's worth of spice, let's say. So instead of 6 months, you've got like 5 months of spice left.
Okay.
Yeah. You can actually add that to your asset list.
I see.
You have 5 months of spice, whatever. And that'll work as a. Well, it just depends. The quality depends on who you're bribing it with, but yeah.
Sure.
It's significant.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and reduce it down to 5, and then say, go ahead and roll. Did you want to spend the 1 momentum you have currently for an extra die?
That would be delightful if I could. Yes.
Of course. Now you have 3 dice that you can utilize.
Okay. So this communicate, I assume.
Yes.
Okay, and this will definitely be duty. It's 3 dice. I don't. So I think in the nature of the request, I won't say what it's for. So will my deceit focus apply here?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, cool.
I just need to use the, satellites for things.
Yeah, stuff and things. Wink. Great. I have 4.
Hey, what? Okay, so you get the momentum back. Very, very well done. Okay, so you can actually spend it if you want some additional information. Otherwise, you succeed at making contact with somebody from the embassy and being like, hey, listen, I need to get in contact. I need a personal favor. The satellites that you use to monitor Arrakis for weather purposes and such. Is there any way that you can get me in contact with or give me temporary control just for a few moments? And you have this back and forth with one of the guild agents until they finally relent. And it's like, look, all right, I owe you one. I'll give you this, but don't be obvious about it. Don't screw this up. Otherwise, it's gonna fall back on me. What is it that you want to do with the spy satellite?
So is the access immediate, or can I time this access, for example?
You can time it.
All right, yeah. I kind of want to, this is not a heist, but I kind of want to heist it where I will, in that particular region where the massive amount of spice is being hoarded, I'll just replay old footage for a certain moment when we strike.
Okay, that sounds good. Excellent. I like that. So yeah, you record that and then you feed it back into the system at the appropriate time. So you have a contingency in place here, as far as I'm concerned. So the guild has no idea that you're launching an assault on this place. Very good. Okay. Is there anything that you wanted to do in addition to that? Did you want to spend the 1 momentum or anything else?
Given that I have the access I have for this moment anyway, I'll put it to the rest of the fam. Given that I can spy on Harkonnen movement across the planet in this moment, is there anything I should peep on?
The worm hunt. Raban said he had a way to deal with the Fremen, but didn't say what. If you could see any hints of that, that would be useful.
I will spend the momentum to ask the question: what will the satellites tell me about Raban's plan for the Fremen?
Okay, like what is he actually doing for the?
Yes.
Oh, what is his plans for the Fremen?
Yes.
Okay. You start monitoring things, and you start like seeing that he's already positioning crews and harvester teams and such in a particular area in the South Polar regions, deep desert areas, where this Leviathan has been sighted, where it's been causing the most amount of destruction. And you start putting 2 and 2 together. You're like, why is he concentrating all of his forces here? What does this have to do with the Fremen? The Fremen are all over the place. Why specifically this area? Why this hunt? And then you immediately like, right. The Fremen revere the worms on Arrakis. That much you do know. That much the guild imparted to you before you came to Arrakis. So you know that there's a connection there between the worms and the Fremen, and it's religious in nature. You know that the Chris knives that they use are from the sandworms, presumably dead ones. So what would happen if a Harkonnen would destroy a sandworm successfully? Well, the Fremen would come out to pay respects to it because, you know.
Oh, and
of course to retrieve the Chris knives. He's planning an ambush to massacre the Fremen after he destroys the worm.
Okay. Then my next quick trip is to go see the Tiberi that are still here.
Oh, good. Well, one of them is curiously missing.
Sure, it's
but
fine.
The other 2, yeah, everything's fine. But the other 2 seem to be, moving around the palace here and there. One of them, the small one, the dwarf in particular, seems to be looking for one of the other ones that is currently not at the palace. So you run into her, and she's like, "Oh, hi! You're that nice-looking lady from the guild, right?"
Thank you. Yes. Herdy? Yes?
Herdy! Yeah!
Great. I have urgent news for your people.
Oh, okay.
Great. You're aware that the Harkonnen are planning to hunt the Great White Death, yes?
Yeah, the Harkonnens are jerks. I know.
Great. If they're successful in this hunt, they know that you revere them, the worms, religiously, and they know where you get your Chris knives from. So they're
Kyfa.
So if they successfully slay that worm, they're going to leave it out in the open and ambush you and massacre you en masse.
They're gonna do that?
Yes.
Oh my god, they're dicks.
Yes.
Much so.
But you know this for sure?
Yes. I had access to the guild's network of satellites, which I'm sure you're aware of.
Shit. Nelia! She turns and like, Nelia! Nelia! She's like right down the corridor, flying her down. And it's like, must you be so obvious? Please be quiet. Lower your voice. What's happening? And she's like, come here. Listen.
I'm going to deploy my Xane dampener once they get in the room. Like, Jesus Christ.
She's like, Harkonnen are planning to massacre us?
Yes.
We need to tell Zoshir immediately. He's been gone for days. I trust he's handling things well, but this visit to Kyra is taking longer than expected. We've received, well, messages have arrived at the palace, but they've been hoarded by your mentat.
I have a working relationship with Pardo Reed. But is there any way? I'm regrettably not well versed in your people's culture and means of communications beyond what the guild knows. Do you have a way to spread this amongst the Sieches and Sayadinas and Naibs?
Yes, we can spread the word.
Do so immediately.
Siege Tabir needs to know immediately, and everyone, as does Stilgar and his people.
Yes.
I can deliver the message.
Thank
what about
you.
me? Can I come too? No hurry. You stay here and wait for Zoshir. Oh man! So she takes off and yeah, Pardo Reed seems to have been acquiring all of the messages that are coming in and out of the palace and just sort of going over them with a fine-tooth comb, it seems. So the Fremen haven't been privy to anything that Zoshir's been putting out.
Okay. Yeah, that's it for me then.
Okay. Zoshir, out of curiosity, what did you put in the message? Did you omit any information, or did you tell him everything? Like, hey, Kyra's dead. So and so killed her, and this is what's happening now. Yay!
I don't want Hurdy to accidentally let something slip up.
Right.
I would have put in the message, an emergency has happened. I am needed elsewhere. Please inform the Lady Daphne as soon as she returns home to come to Kyra's siege.
Okay. Okay. So that would be more reason for Pardo not to release that information. Okay. So we can probably fast forward up to that point. Is there anything Zoshir does at the siege level while he's Naib of Sihayatabir?
Wait a minute, come again. My brain just completely left the station.
Oh, I had to ask you a question out of character because I need to know what Pardo would do with that information if he was privy to it. Which in this case he would compartmentalize it and not let anybody know. But what is there anything specifically that Zoshir would be doing in the week or so that he has as Naib of this new siege of Kyra's siege?
Oh well, he'd probably be prepping for the razzia. Since that was something that Kyra promised to help with.
And she delivered.
Yeah.
You have all the men and equipment that you need. All the weapons required.
I wasn't aware that that's what that agreement would entail.
Yeah.
Hey, Ambrose. It's changed on the overlay too.
God.
Fantastic. So a week goes by. You consult Mirlat and the other and the Fremen that are of that siege as to how you are going to help Stilgar's siege in conducting this razzia. In that time, Daphne, you and your entourage return back to Arrakis, and you're immediately contacted by Pardo. Your Grace, you have received an emergency communication from Kyra's siege. Something has occurred there, and they require your presence immediately. They specifically told me to deliver this message as soon as you arrived. No one else knows, just you and I.
How bad is the emergency?
It was not said what the extent of this emergency is, but it was assigned by Zoshir, one of my Tiberii. It should be noted that the last people to have gone to Kyra's siege is Zoshir and Amira, Eloise's friend.
All right. Conky, are you up for a detour?
Is anyone around right now, or is it just us?
Yeah, where am
It's
I?
just-
Am I around?
I would imagine you'd be getting this as soon as you arrive at the spaceport, since that's the range of the communinet from Arakeen to the spaceport. That's pretty decent range, so
Okay,
you would
so
be
if I'm-
receiving it while you're as soon as you make planetfall. So you're probably in together to some extent on the lighter, which is a large like freighter that comes down, lands on the spaceport tarmac.
Oh, it sounds like fun. By the way, I have something for you.
And I will hand off the cipher that Pardo needs to translate from the hexagon, and I'll say,
Oh, shit.
My brain, and I'll say,
There's 6 sides to every story. I'm sure you'll be able to figure this one out.
I had a brief visit with Omelas. He's suspected of treason, and in the eye language, she'll say delete everything about the hexagon.
Are you giving this information openly in front of like Archibald, or are you specifically like doing this privately?
No, I very much want this to be just like Mentat to Mentat, no one else is involved.
Oh, okay. Alright. So then, you receive that information, you communicate with Conqui sufficiently. Do you immediately take off for Kyra's Siege, or do you stop by the palace first? You'd imagine if you peel off immediately from the spaceport, Archibald and others are gonna like go, wait, where the hell is she going?
Yeah, and I also gave Pardo that message,
You
so I
did.
should take care of that first.
Ah, I see. In whatever order you want to complete it, doesn't matter. These functionaries are constantly coming in and out of the castle anyway, out of the palace.
So where
Very
am I
good.
going?
Yes, that was my next question. Where are you going? You just arrived on the spaceport, and it seems that everybody's going back to the palace. Are you included in those plans or no? I know you had designs to go elsewhere. That's why I'm asking.
Oh. Yes, but that fell through. So no, we're not doing that.
Oh, just checking. Just figured I'd ask. All right, so you all get picked up by a doctor, get brought back to the palace. Everything's secure. You actually see a lot more security. Actually, that's an understatement. Yeah, there's a full security clampdown taking place at the spaceport, with Pardo in charge in particular. So there's a considerable amount of security from the moment you land to the moment you arrive back at the palace. Pardo sees you right away and hands you the message personally that was received by from the siege, because it came in various forms, all same message though. And she's like, and you have your guest is waiting in the conservatory as you suggested.
Thank you. I'll see him and then leave for Kyra's immediately.
Very good. He leaves you alone. You open up the seal to the conservatory, and it's the same sort of servants and guards that are inside. And you see he's just sort of like obsessing over some flora that he's never seen before. He's just kind of like, huh, interesting. He's kind of observing it with his hands clasped behind his back. This time he doesn't know that you're there. You can surprise him however you like.
Yeah, I'll use Bene Gesserit's sneakiness to just appear on his right side.
Oh. No, I was told to be expecting you here. I didn't expect you now. How was your trip back home?
Enlightening. I
He's a little confused. Last time you spoke to him, he understood you were going to see your sister's execution.
Things didn't really go as planned.
Did they find her innocent of her crimes?
They found the woman who had been hidden in her cell innocent.
Oh my. Well, that sounds like a case that we might be able to take to the Landsraad and win with, or the Sisselrad, he says.
That's the
Such negligence.
That's the plan, but that's not why I wanted to talk to you. I'm so sorry. It's my fault that Noirandama died.
No,
and
that's ridiculous. Don't say that.
Probably my fault that not Kazoa died, and it's probably my fault that you're in danger.
Daphne, slow down. This is Arrakis. This place is dangerous to everyone who comes here. We knew the risks when we took up charge under the Harkonnens. You shouldn't blame yourself for something like that.
It's not Harkonnen.
You seem troubled, despite the fact that you said that you've had an illuminating trip to Jabberwock.
Yes. You know that my house was recently involved in Canley, and that we won. The survivors somehow dodged Two-Pile, and I think they're coming after everybody associated with me. And I think that
Who are
means...
these curs?
Ofcardis. Two Ofcardis twins. One is dead, the other is still at large. I think he's behind Noirandama dying. When I first got to Arrakis, I defied Raban on her behalf, quite publicly.
He's walking with you the length of the conservatory as you're talking, and he's like, is this why you warned me? You think they'll put me in their crosshairs as well?
After your gallantry, I think, yes, you're already in their crosshairs, and I wanted you to be aware that that's why it's dangerous for us to be seen together. As much as I wish it were otherwise.
Well, we can still make that happen. It's like, if Arrakis is dangerous, why don't you come with me to Aeonitis? It's a lovely planet. You don't have to bring any extra security. I have plenty of security of my own. You can leave all this place behind. You're in charge. You can do whatever you like. We don't have to live our lives by the dictates of Raban Harkonnen.
Raban is so low on the list of people who scare me right now.
Why?
I'm more scared about the Ofcardis. With them, it's personal. I'm scared about, my uncle's wife wants to kill me, and I think he's just going to let her.
Imperial politics as usual. You obviously are afraid for your life. And I don't see very many people around here going out of their way to protect you. If you need a bodyguard, then I will be that person. I will protect you. On my honor.
That was actually what I was going to suggest. Two options. Either we never see each other again, or you never leave my sight.
Wow. If I can make both of those things a reality, then I'll do what has to be done.
Well then, I am about to go meet a parent of mine. Would you like to meet her?
You have family on Arrakis? Certainly. Very intriguing. And of course I'll bring my best blades with me.
Before you actually agree to this, there are things I cannot yet tell you. Raban is the least of my concerns right now. things that my house is involved in.
Whatever you think you can't tell me, you can tell me in private.
These are things that would be dangerous for you to know.
But I'm already in danger.
I don't want to put you in more danger.
I can handle myself.
All right,
And
well,
if it means I can get closer to you, then I'll risk it.
well then.
Please, show me the way.
Right, Daphne will take his...
Oh, go ahead.
Daphne will take his arm, give him another lingering kiss on the cheek.
Mm-hmm.
I think this will be very productive and beneficial for us both.
I think so as well. You gather your entourage. Who's coming with you?
I am definitely taking Conky, if she's available. I'm not taking Archibald.
Oh, for you? Of course.
Saw that coming.
Sorry, you said you're obviously taking not Norma.
Yes.
Who else is going?
Probably not Eloise, because she's got her own stuff going on.
What about her protector?
Amira?
Yeah, would you like to ask her if she wants to come with you?
You know, the dramatic potential of that is amazing, but
yeah.
She will ask Pardo if she can borrow some of the Tiberii, and he can send whoever he likes.
Sure. Hurdy and Nelia are available, though. Well, Nelia is going to take a trip to Siege Tabir, so you get Hurdy.
Okay, that's fine.
He's like, I'm very sorry, Your Grace. You get the dwarf.
She and Conky will become the best of friends.
Okay.
You sit together at the back of the ornithopter.
Ooh, where are we going? Are we going to Kyra's? Oh, that's so great. That sounds awesome. I like your hair.
Conky will be smiling and chipper, but there will be a moment when Daphne looks back and you will see literal daggers from Norma.
Okay. Very good.
You're just so chipper. I like you.
Yeah, I like you too.
Oh, this is going to be a great trip.
Have you been to the Siege? Have you been
to the Siege? Before?
Yeah, it's like a cave.
We get to go to a cave? In a desert?
He was like,
this is so exciting.
And then you look out of the...
Is there more sand?
Like, oh. There's always sand.
Pardo is busy. He said it was an emergency, so I am bringing Dr. Sloan.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, no.
What?
Dr. Sloan? Very good. Very good. Archibald, are you doing anything while the rest of the house is convening and setting to go back out? There's a large train of people heading out, security personnel and stuff, getting the ornithopters ready and stuff. They seem to be on the move. Something's happening, but it doesn't look like the razzia, this raid, is happening immediately or anything like that. Otherwise, they would probably have asked you. Your Vengarian Guard is here as well, so they're kind of like, they're a special elite unit of like 20-something guys and girls, and they're very dangerous looking people, and they're just kind of putting themselves at different intervals throughout the palace to ensure your personal security and no one else's. They've already been introduced to Pardo, so Pardo's aware of them and everything, and yeah, they work for House Librius, I get it. Everything comes through me, however. He makes it very clear. Is there anything that you're doing at the palace while this is happening?
Yeah, I'd actually like to go out and find explosives for the razzia.
Okay.
And I'm not talking like mini, like I'm talking about like a C4 bomb that could blow up one of those pedestals.
So you probably want to talk to the smugglers.
Yep. That's exactly
Procure
where
the right kind of explosive. Unless you want to talk to the Harkonnens, I don't know.
Oh, hell no. No.
Okay,
That would make Daphne very upset, and I'm already in the limelight, so.
Very good. All right. So you make arrangements to go speak to Staban Tuek and the Tueks, I should say, the father and son duo that work on the South Polar regions. You get a guide, some Australian, some Aussie sounding guy. He's like, all right, we want to go to South Polar regions. You got it, my friend. I'm going to fly you down there myself. I go down there all the time. You want spice? You want to get a deal on some stuff you can't buy at the Arakeen market over here? You find the right guy. My name's Iblis. Come on board.
Oh,
I remember that dude.
Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm.
He gets aboard his Thopter, and you bring your Vangarian guard people with you, and off you go to the South Polar regions. All right, we'll handle this scene first, since this is probably going to be the most dramatic of the two. You all fly into Sihaya Tabir, and Naib, Zoshir, you are notified of this coming ornithopter full of House Cheshire's personnel and guests. They're all coming here for the ceremony. So as soon as you are told, everybody's like, we're making preparations to prepare the body for the stills. Oh, and also, Norma has awakened from her coma.
Myrna's not dead.
Stall, Lady Daphne. I need to speak with Myrma.
How long should we stall for?
Whack her.
What?
I need those memories.
You are Sayadina now. Take
No,
your
he's
title and do
Naib.
it. Naib, that's what I meant.
Only women can be Sayadina.
You know what I'm talking about.
Serve them tea. Ask them how their trip went. All the things that those houses do for delaying guests. They're very good at that. I need to know some things. It won't take long.
We can stall as much as you need. Whatever you require. When they leave, you take a moment to speak to Norma. She's awake, she has some clarity, but she has these haunted eyes when you look upon her. Her hands are shaking. Zoshir, the things that I've seen, she keeps repeating, closes her eyes and reaches her hands out to you.
He will take her hand. I don't have much time at the moment, but I need to know what is the most important for me to know.
As soon as you grab her hand, she pulls you in, she hugs. And not the kind of hug, she cries on your shoulder, but not the kind of way that you do when, like, you're grieving for somebody. She feels sorry for you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You've been burdened with this. And she's like, she tries her best to compose herself, but she's like, what has happened while I was out unconscious?
Not much, though you have been unconscious for quite a while. Lady Daphne's here. I'm about to give her the news.
Tell the rest of the Fremen not to grab the trinket when we put her body to the stills.
The trinket?
They'll know what I mean.
Very well. Is that all for now? Would you like to speak with in particular from their party?
Sorry, she says, don't touch the trinket and don't touch the journal. No one. You know what she's referring to, though. Because when a body is put to the stills, the entire tribe comes out, and those who knew the person give like an account, like a eulogy, well, it's like a little anecdote or something like that, and then they come up and they take something of theirs. Like, well, I remember this person. I shared this story with them, or they shared this experience with me, and then they come up and they take like a thing that belonged to them, and then the body is distilled, and then everybody takes a drink from the catch basin. She's telling you to tell the rest of the Fremen and anybody else not to take the one trinket and her journal. That those are not to be taken by anyone else outside of the Cheshire family.
Is it all right for her daughter to have those things?
Yes.
Very well. I was hoping to gain some knowledge from the journal, but is there anything else? Do you want me to send the Lady Daphne in, or her Sayadina, her Bene Gesserit?
That will be up to her. This will be her when she gets just bursting tears. Like, this will be her decision to make of who attends this ceremony. Kyra would have wanted it this way.
Oh, all right. Rest. I'll be back later.
She like just buries her head in her hands, and her shoulders are just heaving, like she's just inherited a terrible curse. You turn around, and yeah, you managed to, in a week that has elapsed, you've managed to like sneak a peek at what her belongings were. Something's in a box. You didn't dare to look, but the other thing is a journal that you kept, that you wrote, and some of the pages were embedded with like little dots, and you don't understand any of it. Like, you're like, what is this? It's like almost like a semi-perforated piece of parchment, and the other stuff is written in languages you've never heard of before. Like, they're ancient, perhaps. But some of the stuff that she did write, but that you can actually make out, like it's in Fremen language. It's almost comes off as rambling. Like, it's just a block of text, and it's like, this happened, this can happen, this has happened, this will happen, or whatever. And a lot of it contradicts itself, and you're just like, oh, so that's what knowing what the future is like. It's pure chaos, and you just kind of like, okay, I'll leave that alone, and you inform the Fremen what Norma instructed you to do. Is there anything else that you do before their arrival?
I think I would want to make sure that Kyra is in a sort of private room, if she wasn't already. I have a feeling that the other Fremen already would figure that out. Just a private room so that when Daphne's arrived, she can have some private time with Kyra.
Sure. That can be arranged. So they will view the body first before it's taken to the stills, then. Okay.
Yeah, that's my hope anyway.
Okay. It's a bit of a long ride, and you're already kind of exhausted from your trip from Jabberwock, Daphne, so you fall asleep on the Thopter ride, just, snuggling up next to Varys, and you have a dream. It's that same dream that you remember from before, the one with at night, and you running on the sands, being pursued by the wolf, nipping at your heels. A stranger, shrouded in darkness with the Mala rifle, who fires a single shot and wounds the wolf, gets it off of your back. You think you're safe, but then the ground rumbles and shakes. And the sounds of almost like this serpentine thing emerges. This colossal sandworm threatens to consume you and everything around you. This time it's a little different though. This time the stranger in shadow pulls you free of the wolf, free of the worm. And you're close enough that you might be able to make out who they are. But it from moment to moment it keeps changing. And then just when you think that you're free, they drive a blade into your heart. They saved you from all of those terrible things. And then they kill you. You wake up with a start. And Varys is like, "Are you okay?
Oh, nightmares.
Are you all right? This place will do that to you, I suppose."
I think my brother might be in danger.
Your brother? Where is he?
He's with his father. He's my half-brother. But sometimes we have the same dreams, and I think that was meant for him.
You shared your dream with your brother? Fascinating. Never heard of such a phenomenon. They say the spice here on Arrakis can change people, that it gives them insight. I'm afraid I haven't been on the planet long enough to experience this myself. But it sounds like you have.
Possibly. Or maybe it is me. I'll have to ask Kyra about it. She'll probably be able to help me interpret it.
Of course. Looks like we're about to come. After all, he looks over the person in front of him, and they see you see the ornithopter like touching down through the aperture in the high siege wall ceiling, and it just kind of lands. And you're greeted by a large group of people, Fremen and some that you don't recognize, but they all wear still suits all the same. When you disembark, they receive you, and it's almost like it's weird this time. Like, you remember how you were received initially, and it was like, "Oh, you're Kyra's daughter." Wow, it was almost celebratory. This time it's not. When you arrive, all the faces here are sullen and grim. Some have these eyes of fervor, these steely gazes that just, that when they observe you, they're like, you can hear them muttering and praying under their breath as you emerge. Varys is similarly sort of confused, looking around like, "What can't do right now? What is this? Oh, this is a Fremen dwelling of some kind."
I'm just gonna let him do his thing. We're gonna blow his mind, soon.
Yeah, big time. You see this very pale-looking bald man comes out, and he's like, bows very courteously. "Your Grace, I am Merlat. I'm in charge here, and Naib, Zoshir, awaits you in private quarters towards the rear of the siege. You follow me."
Naib Zoshir.
He says nothing.
Take me to Naib Zoshir.
As you wish. Turns around, walks you over to Zoshir's new quarters. The surroundings are so familiar. You've been in this room before. It's where you met with Kyra, and it's filled with the same sort of accoutrements. The cushions on the floor, the comfy robe, the incense in the air, and everything like that. You part the curtains, and there he is, Zoshir, standing before you. "I delayed them as much as I could, my Naib."
What was that?
That was what was this guy's name? I already forgot it.
Mirlat?
Merlat. That was Merlat whispering in Zoshir's ears.
I did not know kidnapping was so profitable.
I know that you're very observant, and you know something's amiss.
Where is Kyra?
She's gone.
Where?
She's...
Did she go to Kaite?
No.
Tell me where Kyra is, Zoshir.
She was killed.
Who?
We will discuss that later.
No, tell me
For-
who. Was it Mahayam? Did Mahayam finally get her?
No.
Then who killed her?
Someone who loves. And I know that doesn't make sense.
Do you know who killed her?
I do.
Then tell me who killed her.
If I tell you who killed her, then someone that you love very much will be in danger.
I am
You will
Bene
lose more
Gesserit
family.
trained. I am Bene Gesserit trained. Don't make me force it out of you. Who killed her?
You wouldn't harm me in that way.
Oh, the last family I have on this planet? The last one who gives a shit about me?
You still have family. You have Eloise, and you have Mossum.
Mossum's with his father. I can't reach him.
But he's still well. He's still
Who
alive.
killed... You're distracting me. Who killed Kyra?
It was a mirror. But I am just as guilty. Kyra stayed my hand.
From killing Amira?
Yes.
I don't... Why would Amira do this?
Because Eloise's life was threatened. I did not hear as much. However, there's no one else that she would slay for. At least I don't think.
And so you're Naib now.
I did not ask for it. And it was either that or they would kill Amira. And I did not think that that would help this situation. I'm sorry.
Varys,
There's something.
puts his hand. Sorry, Varys puts his hand on Daphne's shoulder, just to try to add some comfort to her in what little way he can.
Is there anything else you need to tell me?
Yes. The Sayadina of the Siege is conscious. She knows everything that you could possibly need to know. Kyra imparted her knowledge to her, it seems. And you need Kyra's journal and some trinket. I'm not really sure what it is, but only you and your family are to have it. I also have a wake room for you. It's not tradition for us, but I figured you'd want to say goodbye to your mother.
I appreciate that, thank you. I... Excuse me. I'd like to go see her now.
I'll take you there.
You're led into a room where Kyra's body's on display. There's just a thin veil that separates you from her. She's at peace at last. And it seems that the Fremen did what they could to present the body. It's not something that they're used to doing, so they didn't do it with a tremendous amount of precision or grace. They've already absorbed a lot of the moisture from her body, so you don't see any blood, but you do see incision points. So it's not a pleasant sight.
Daphne will ask.
Sorry, go ahead.
Varys can wait outside the room.
Okay.
This is just for her, and Daphne struggled not to cry in front of the Fremen because she knows how they feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
But once she's alone, just sort of collapses into sobs that they can probably hear from outside, depending on how thin the walls are. But
yeah, Zoshir, she's giving water to the dead. Yeah, you just collapse under this tremendous weight. You know that the Fremen will have a ceremony of some sort, and that you imagine this is what they were waiting for you to arrive, so you can partake in that particular ceremony. Merlot comes up to you, Zoshir, and it's like, whenever she is ready, the death stills are prepared.
Thank you. I would like to talk her through that. I don't think she's ever seen that before. It might be disturbing.
Not many Outframe have, yes. He leaves you to your devices. Varys turns to Conqui and Purdy and Zoshir's like, whoever these people are that have done this, we will find them. I promise you. We will have justice. The doors eventually open up when you're ready, Daphne. And they bring you out, and they kind of Merlot talks to you like this. We're going to...
Right before, so she finishes, she wipes her tears off, and then will whisper to Kyra, I promise, I will continue your work and break the goddamn Imperium.
When Daphne's good and ready, she can leave. That's when Merlot will take the time to kind of inform you what you can expect from this ceremony. The ceremony that will involve taking Kyra's body to something called the Death Stills, where basically all the moisture from the human body is extracted, and it is then collected in a catch basin for that siege. Part of the ceremony involves everyone who's in the siege to take a drink from that catch basin as a means of taking a part of them with you wherever you may go on Arrakis. He's like, if you want to participate in this or not, it's understandable. However, there are some things that Kyra wanted you to have. decide not to participate, we can give you those things and we can take care of the other details.
She was a Sayadina among you, is that correct?
Yes.
I am her daughter, and I will observe this ceremony as I think she would have wanted me to.
As you will. Okay. Second here. A large gathering in the central chamber of the siege occurs, where hundreds of people are here, and they place the body in this contraption, and they start, initiating the sequence for it to commence. But as it's happening in the background, Zoshir, you are asked to kind of commemorate the occasion and give sort of like the eulogy, and then everyone else will do what they typically do, which is to stand up, tell a story or anecdote about the dead, and then proceed to take something from their belongings, which are gathered in the direct center of the exact center of the circular chamber. It's almost amphitheater in way, and kind of like goes, up and down.
Kyra was a beloved Sayadina, Naib, father, and mother. She bore the weight of Arrakis upon her shoulders, and very few would know what that responsibility is to bear. Kyra's greatest wish was for the freedom of the universe and the prosperity of the Fremen. Her sincerest loves were her children. You should be honored to have her daughter in your presence at this moment. I do not know this for certain, but I know that her greatest wish would be for us to look after her children in any way possible. Please, if you have respect for Kyra's wishes, do not touch her journal. Do not take her trinket. Those are reserved for her daughter and her daughter alone. I have very large footprints to fill, and I highly doubt that I will be able to as well as she.
You speak your piece, and Merlot stands up and is like, "This is the word," he says. And everyone in the room says, "Bilal Kaifa."
Bilal Kaifa.
He then takes the opportunity to say something. To us, she was known as Mother. Her actions made it possible for my people to escape internment, but in the future, to create a society outside the Imperium. She witnessed her own demise many times and saw what changes it would inevitably have on the Imperium. By accepting this fate, she has given birth to a new future for all. A new path never seen before. A new universe. Bila Kaifa. He comes up and grabs the journals and takes them directly to Daphne. Norma, who is among the main people of the siege, the Sayadina now, she stands up. She, with her shaky voice, she manages, "I remember Bina when she was Kyra, and the tremendous risks she took to her person just to protect her children. She made enemies of the powerful and began a movement of change for those with no power for themselves. Ila Kaifa. She comes up and takes the black Abba robe that belonged to her. A face dancer stands up and speaks. Kyra spared my life when I had failed my previous masters in taking her water. She disarmed me with her voice and then asked me what I really wanted. It was freedom. She released me from her hold and prepared a place for me and my siblings at her side. He takes the Gom Jabbar. A Fremen stands up. She was a teacher to us. In her teachings, she taught us that the future was just as malleable as the present. That if we, as Fremen, wanted a future for our children, that we would need to be prepared to shed blood for it. Bila Kaifa. This Fremen takes the crysknife. And then it is your turn, Daphne.
I wish I had more time with her. I only know a little of what she was doing, of what she intended and what she wanted. As much as I am capable, I will continue that work.
Bila Kaifa.
I'll take.
You are then invited to come up and take something. One of the only things that are left is a little box.
She'll take the box. And she'll also take the drink of water and just kind of have to brace herself a little bit, like, alright, this is weird, but I gotta do it.
Yep. You take the box and you feel something small rattling around in it. And it conjures a memory in your brain that you don't quite understand immediately. And it isn't until you sit back down, like everyone else, that you open it and look. And it takes a considerable amount of self-control when you see it. It's a spirit fire. Going all the way back to season 1, episode 1, on Gamant. The very thing you were charged to deliver to Kyra from Adeline. The spirit fires, the two blue-colored, azure-colored jewels that are found in the oceans of Dasfan that glow with this iridescence that are said to do so when two people who are kindred spirits, soulmates, if you will, find each other. When they find each other again, they are inseparable. This is the other half. The other one was buried with Adeline.
Yeah, Daphne.
Does anybody else?
Try real hard not to cry right now.
Do you need a minute? The rest of the ceremony kind of, goes as predicted. Everybody has an anecdote or something like that to say about the deceased. But once that's finished, they go off into their own reflections, and the rest of the day is sort of spent in that reflection of this person who they lost. And a lot of them come to you, Zoshir. But in particular, you see Hurdy comes, and this time she's coming with Nelia. And they're coming. Nelia in particular is coming back, it seems, with like some sort of a kit or some sort of something that she's gotten from somewhere else. She's like, we need to talk in your chambers privately, no one else.
Right. We can go now.
and take you in, and they're like, "You're gonna want to sit down for this."
More bad news.
They look at each other. And they look back at you. And Hurdy's like, "I guess that depends on what you consider bad. Bad news? More bad news?" Stop right there. In the South Polar regions, a series of ornithopters arrive in the Tuek smuggler camp, and they land in sequence in this large encampment where they're mining the polar ice cap for ice, for water. You're of course greeted by 2X people, and your pilot, your guide, Iblis, is like, "All right, we're all here. I'll disengage the Iblis Express. Whatever it is you're looking for, mate, you're gonna find it here, I guarantee it. I'll probably go ahead and refuel. Figure we'll come back here first thing in the morning, daybreak. If you need more time, well, that's why I'm charging you by the hour, or by the day rather. You all enjoy yourselves out there, General." He opens up the door for you. The Vangarian guard's like, "Please stay the fuck away from the person we're supposed to protect. Keep back." Let you out. You arrive close to the end of the day. It's like dusk at this point, so a lot of the crews are winding down. Large tents are set up inside of what seems to be an enormous cavern that they've managed to secure for themselves. And they're like, "You're that general, right? You're with the Cheshires," and he points to the symbol on the side of the ornithopter.
That's correct. I am.
Come inside.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, he's just like, "Come inside." It's like it's getting dark out.
I will. I'll have my guard go in first and kind of escort me in.
Mm-hmm.
Paranoid as usual. And
it's a big cavern. Lots of tent things inside. Lots of smells as soon as you come into this
Do
area.
I stick out like a sore thumb?
Absolutely, yeah. Okay. Especially if you didn't take a still suit, you're sweating your balls off, and you're just like you feel like you're dehydrated. So yeah, they're like, "I should have." And you see Iblis is like, "Oh, you should have worn one of these," he says. He points to his still suit. And I'm not talking about the ones that you find on the Arakeen marketplace. Those things are shoddy as hell, mate. Let me tell you. You want the real deal? You want to talk to the Fremen friends over here?
Yeah, I'll take note of that. Telling me.
Yeah. It's like it.
But
go ahead.
Sorry, go on. What were we gonna say?
Yeah, were you wanting to do business with Esmar, the father of this operation, or his son Steban?
Father of what of the operation of the polar ice caps?
The smuggler group.
Well, I would like to get the father, obviously. He could have more pull. You never know. So I'm gonna say I sit down. I'd like to. Speaking of privacy, I'm gonna ask, can we get some privacy? I'd like to discuss a matter with you.
Certainly, in my office. Bring you in.
Mm-hmm. I'll take one of my guard with me because, like I said, it's a sketchy place.
Oh yeah, he has his own guard. Yep. I understand House Cheshire is doing business with the Harkonnens. What do you want from me?
I got a question for you first before we get down to the nitty-gritty. What is your view of the Harkonnens?
He's playing poker. This guy must be an ace in poker because he doesn't tip his hand. He's just like, whatever, the Harkonnens are gonna do what they're gonna do. I have to do bit with them just like everyone else on Arrakis does. What's the point of this conversation, General?
I'm looking for explosives. Smaller the package, bigger the boom.
Really? Okay. Are you going hunting soon? He says, with a smirk on his face.
I guess you could say that.
Big game.
More like a cliff.
You want to blow up rocks?
Well, I'd say more platforms than anything else. Or at least a part of it.
Admittedly strange requests. You want industrial-sized explosives.
Correct.
Clearing out some land on Arrakis for yourself?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Understood. Well, we can certainly accommodate you accordingly. How much are you looking to attain?
So out of character, how many turrets are on each one? I know we got the plan for it. How many turrets are actually on each platform?
No. You haven't gotten the faintest idea what their defenses are like. However,
Well, did we get like a blueprint like before all this happened?
Yeah, you certainly can. You'd have to look in the right places or ask the right people.
Oh no, I thought we already got it. That's what I'm asking.
Your sole source of intelligence. Sorry, go ahead.
There was a map you showed us, but I don't know if it was in or out of character.
That was out of character.
That was okay.
Yeah. So the sole source of intelligence that you have on this observation mountain is Duncan, Idaho, because he scouted it with a very small group of Fremen. So he's the only one who knows about very intimate defenses that are there and the surrounding area. He had a map in character that he showed you that kind of resembled what I showed you, but it wasn't to the same extent. It's a very rough, sort of sketch that he laid out for you.
But
he's a field commander, so you can do that sort of thing. But the actual specifics for that is what you're lacking in terms of intelligence.
Understandable. Okay. Eloise would know due to her satellites, correct?
Correct. Sounds like you need to have a conversation with her.
That's actually
That's the bond.
I'm actually going to ask you after this to go see Eloise. Anyways.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm going to say yes, industrial size, something that can basically blow up a platform, cliff.
I want to blow an entire cliffside. Well, okay, that's ambitious. He's off the top of his head. He's like, you're gonna need, 22 kilotons of explosives. That's quite significant. It'll take a little bit of time to acquire, but we can do it. He kind of like fiddles around with some parchment. He's like, it'll cost this much. It gives you a very large number for the acquired explosives.
Okay.
Obviously, this is very illegal. The Arconans would not want this sort of thing being handled by anyone who is not utilizing these explosives on their behalf. So I'm assuming you want to keep this quiet.
100%.
That's why you came to me. Well, I'll throw that on top as part of the charge. Then he says, "Cost of doing business." You understand?
Agree.
Give us about 3 or 4 weeks. We can probably facilitate the transfer of goods here. We'll secure them in that area over there, and he points to like a very large sort of stockade that they've built, inside the cavern. And he's like, once we get that, we can communicate you however you want us to communicate with you, directly or indirectly. Just make sure you have the payment. We're going to require 25% of this to be paid up front. Do you have that sort of collateral now, or will that be necessary later?
It'll be necessary later. And I'm going to ask the locals, how do they get their spice?
The Fremen.
Well, the locals.
Spices. Spices all around us, my friend. I'm assuming you've never stepped foot inside of a harvester.
No, I have not.
The short story is that we don't know where the spice comes from. But I know that there's an Imperial planetologist that has more knowledge than I do about this. Dr. Kynes. You may want to talk to them. Someone in your runs in your circles. What I do know is that the Fremen also collect the spice. Not just the Harkonnens, not just the ruling parties here on Arrakis. They have a vested interest in this resource themselves.
Okay. So, quick question: the locals, in terms of like the poor, how outside of character, just so I understand, how do they get their spice to live, or is it just in the air?
It's most people don't have the blue eyes. Most people who have blue eyes are considered Fremen. Like, oh, they're native here. Like they grew up in this environment, and as a result, like they got the eyes of the Ibad.
Gotcha. So, if I went to the city, you wouldn't see a lot of blue eyes, correct?
Here and there.
Here and there.
Yeah,
Okay.
There.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I'd be there, but okay, that makes sense.
Precisely. So when did you were in the encampment, or is this the like scent of it? He's like, well, when we're not gonna put in the order until you have the collateral. Once you have payment, then yeah, we'll go ahead and put in the order. It'll take a couple weeks. You can go out and hunt cliff sides all you want.
How about I make you a deal?
Oh, a deal. This is getting better. I'm listening.
This job that I need this for is going to give me a lot of spice.
Okay.
So, if you give it to me, I can guarantee you at least some of it.
It sounds like you're in the prospecting business instead of the military, General, but very well.
A little bit.
If this is what sort of reciprocals are we talking about here? Percentage. Give me numbers.
Ooh.
And you're in your mind, you're like, oh shit, we gotta give the Fremen a cut. I gotta give a cut to the Eloise and these guys. The house, of course. There's your cut if you're participating. Yep. Like this pie is getting split up
thinner
a lot more every moment that goes by, and now you're trying to cut in the smugglers.
Well, we aren't going to need the smugglers to launder the spice.
Correct. That's what I was thinking too. So I'm gonna say here. I'm gonna say this. How about I get you involved in the project that I'm with? How about it?
Okay.
Be very lucrative for both of us. How about you come to the palace?
Ah, guest of honor. There you go. Give me the date and time, and I'll bring my son. We'll both attend.
We'll meet with the Cheshires, and I'm sure we can work something out.
Of course. Sounds splendid. He shakes your hand. All right, excellent.
I would give him the date and time. I don't know. However you want to do that, Eric.
Oh, it's up to you. Like when you want it to happen, it'll happen, and it ultimately will depend
as soon
on
as
whether
possible,
Daphne's like entertaining this idea of like cutting somebody else into this plan.
Oh no, Daphne was figuring we would have to cut the smugglers in.
Yeah,
like
at one point, yes.
Like all of a sudden, there's tons of spice on Jabberwock. That's weird.
If we gave it to them, it's not plausible deniability, believe it or not. Anyways. Yeah, I would say ASAP, just because it's gonna take 4 to 5 weeks to get that shit. So if we can get them over there, get this deal cut, and then we can get those things. And I'll tell you out of character after games what I plan on doing, so that way you know.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
And then after that, I would like to go speak to Eloise.
You from the communion net. It's a little staticky this far south on the South Polar regions. It's a little iffy, but you do manage to use your communion net to get in contact with her at the palace. Eloise, you just witnessed Amira coming in from outside. She's been out for several hours, and she's uncharacteristically like sullen and on edge and just nervous. It looks like She's even avoiding your gaze. It's just like she can't look at you right now.
Okay, we'll crack that nut later.
Sure.
I'll answer.
So I would actually like to do this in person if I could.
Oh, would you? Okay. So you probably want to wait until the next morning to catch a the ride back to the palace because it's already nighttime and there's storms rolling into the area as they typically do. So
that's fine.
You're grounded as far as I'm concerned. Vangarian Guard wouldn't let you fly anyway. This still stands, however, Eloise. This is what you noticed from Amira after she came in from a very long day, seemingly in the marketplace.
What's going on? She'll just open the enormous spice allotment she received.
I'm securing our future.
Wrong answer. What's going on?
I'm working for the guild one last time.
Okay. I know what that means. This is more than we've ever received for any work ever. Who? I've never asked before. Who?
They asked me to kill the Duchess's mother.
Wait, what? Isn't the Duchess's mother already dead?
That's who Amira killed. Well, two moms. I mean,
Adelaide's her mother.
Gotcha.
She doesn't really think of Kyra as her mother, but she's her parent.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Parent, gender neutral. Yeah, her parent has been killed.
Yeah, I personally have some weird issues about like who I call it's weird. I'll explain later.
You killed my niece's parent.
I did what I had to do to protect us.
Is that it? We're done?
No, there's more.
I'm in it now. Who's next?
She is.
She who?
The Duchess.
No.
What are we going to do? If we can't... What are we going to do? We're going to leave Arrakis? Do you know how painful spice addiction is?
Well, thanks to your work, I have 5 months of spice at least.
The withdrawals are going to kill you. And that's if the guild doesn't do it themselves. I'm trying to protect you. I'm trying to protect us. I can't. Jesus.
You should have told me.
I am telling you.
Now, after it's done. My confidant for 12 years, and you couldn't trust me with this.
Of course I trust you. I just don't. If you know, then you've targeted yourself.
Okay. I gave you the order.
No. That's ridiculous.
Yes.
I'm not going to save my own skin. It's like you said, we're in this now.
I gave you the order. My visions told me to.
They'll kill you. And this would have been for nothing.
They'll kill us anyway now.
We have to
At least our family won't be hunting. At least my family won't be hunting you. You asked me if I was committed. We're going to follow through with my uncle's plans now.
This is what we're gambling on now? The Supile exiles?
Oh, better we gamble on you killing the Duchess of the house we just rejoined What will that look like? That would look like a power grab from me, because guess who's next in line? It's me or Archibald. There is no one else.
She just like, I'm assuming this is taking place in like the confines of your personal
Of
room.
course.
She is just full of anger and just she's so confused about what needs to be done. She just like takes it out on the table and just throws everything off onto the floor, and stomps out of the room and slams the door shut. How do you respond? You just kind of like let her have her moment of rage?
So she lied. I'm gonna do something very risky here. I have a lot of spice at my disposal.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to force a vision to see a way through.
Okay.
Do it.
You take a considerable amount of spice, and you're just like, come on, and just like you're concentrating as hard as you can. And
do you want to send me what Daphne intends to do with Eloise and Amira? Like, in case Eloise can foresee it?
It's a good idea. I'll think about it in a minute.
Okay, yeah. For just for the record, what she's aiming for is a way through where neither of them die. I don't necessarily expect that to happen. I'm just saying that's her intended goal.
If I was a GM who was actually prepared, I would cut and paste a huge long block of text.
Fair.
And just go, there you go, figure it out. And I'll give you like every possibility under the sun. You're just like, ah. But perfect. Yeah, your mind opens, as it were, and it's always those situations where you're not seeing someone specifically. You're just sort of glimpsing a moment in time, and you're left having to like put the pieces of that puzzle together yourself. And this time it's one like you take an exorbitant amount of melange, and you just like your mind opens up to everything, and it all comes flooding in, and you drown in visions. Get back to you next time. But before we finish, Zoshir. I wasn't gonna let you off easy.
I thought it was off the hook.
No. Okay. So you see Nelia and Hurdy get you in your private quarters, and they're like, listen, Hurdy's like, listen, there's something we got to talk to you about, especially now that you're Naib and all that stuff. Congratulations, I guess. Nelia's like, please, no more happy. And he's like, oh. She breaks open what seems to be this pack, and there's clothing inside. Clothing that at first you don't seem to recognize it. She's like, Zoshir, since you arrived at Hagaharg, our lives have changed forever. Nawan sent scouts and wardens to your siege after it was assaulted by the cast out. They found what remained of your parents' things and brought it to her. Nawan examined these things, and when she learned of how you found your crysknife, she immediately placed people to watch over and protect you. For just as Shai Hulud chose you that day to survive what befell your tribe, Arrakis had also chosen you. Many on the council thought that this could not be possible, but when it was revealed that your parents were not from here, and that your mother was Sayadina, there could not be any room for denial. When you were of age, Nawan assigned us to accompany you and ensure your safety. It is why they placed you to guard the Spice Bride, because up to that point, no one suspected or had known of our dealings with the guild in such a way. It was supposed to be safe. Nawan and the rest are grown nervous now that you are leading the Fremen, or to lead the Fremen in battle, lead us in battle, but not us. We will follow you onto that battlefield and onward to wherever that may lead. And Purdy's like, "Do you like Kyra?" It's like, these are things that belonged to your parents. Look upon your legacy, Zoshir Tamarin. Feel proud to fight for us. They bring you this case, and it's filled with little things, little accoutrements, but inside you see there's a Bene Gesserit Abba robe, and there's a military uniform of some kind. And at first you don't recognize it, but you've lived on Arrakis under the occupations of the Harkonnen to know that is a Harkonnen officer's uniform. And that's where we'll stop for today.
Oh.
Holy shit!
The Baron's your daddy.
Ah!
No shit. The Baron is your daddy.
Or it could be Raban.
I know. Someone.
No, it could be just like
Alpha.
he's dead. The father's dead, right? It's probably a dead, like, whoever Gurney Halleck was for their Harkonnen 20 years ago.
Or there was a previous attempt at having a child with the Baron.
Yep. Instead, that would be a good twist where they like switched it from Jessica over to Zoshir.
No. Jessica still was born.
Oh, yeah, two kids.
But...
That'd be even blow my mind even more.
The first was considered a failure.
Look, Ambrose, someone else has to suffer besides me, and it's your turn.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of suffering going around.
Yeah, actually, sorry, we all just like hopped up the x-axis pretty far. Big Dad needs to expand that x-axis for all of us.
Well then, that's all the time that we have for this session. I hope everyone here and those watching enjoyed the show. We'll continue our adventures into the Imperium next Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's go around the virtual tabletop one more time and introduce our wonderful cast. Leo, let them know who you are, where they can find you online, who you played this evening.
Hello, my name is Leo, and you can find me at Leo of the Black, where I play video games on Twitch. Anyways, today I played Archibald, and let's just say he's not going to have the old ball and chain anymore, man.
You don't have to sound so happy about it.
I'm going to be honest, Jared is happy because, like, and even to Archie's extent, like, Archie kind of knows, like, okay, she's immensely fucking stupid. She's doing all this out in the open. Like, she's gonna get herself killed. So, I think that's another reason why Archie really didn't do anything, was because, like,
that's gonna take care of itself, right?
It might take care of itself, and which it did. So, so it was a win-win either way. It was a win because I'm gonna be honest with you, I was 100% gonna betray you guys if she wins.
Oh, damn!
I was.
I mean, she's gonna be alive for another month or so.
At least, yeah.
And you already have red flags.
Yeah, bro.
I have red flags.
Devin, let the good people know who you are, where they can find you, and who you played this evening.
Hello, everyone. My name is Devin, and I've been Sen.
Excellent.
Assassin extraordinaire.
That you are.
Ambrose.
Who am I? What am I? I don't even know anymore. Oh God. Hi everybody. I've been Naib Zoshir, previously Zoshir Tamir, now apparently Harkonnen.
Yep.
Naib Zoshir.
The Baron is your daddy.
Fuck. Anyway.
The angst is real.
Oh God. You can find me places on the internet, I'm sure. Am Changeling, and on Etsy at Thornkind, and holy shit. Thank you.
Aaron.
Hello everyone. I am Aaron. Again, seeing good fight for whichever as Cricketulu. I think next you can kind of see me as a PNG on my beloved Dre LaFace channel while you play Grounded on Thursday. And then back here for Trauma Bomb / Dune. I just want to give a big shout out to Rachel for a really amazing funeral scene. That was so fucking good.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Just wait till next week when Daphne and Eloise are gonna have a conversation.
Yay!
I already sent Eric some of my plans. Some of them are kind of graphic, so enjoy those visions.
So, Eloise, just to forewarn you, Archibald will be coming to you with a deal. You might want to take it because
it's a deal you can't refuse.
it might be a deal you literally cannot refuse.
I mean, she's gonna be totally gacked out on spice apparently next week, so
yeah,
it's gonna be fun. Gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, totally.
Nice. And last but not least, of course, Rachel.
Hello. Wow, this was an amazing game. I was looking forward to it all week. Yeah, so you can find me Stolen Fires pretty much everywhere on the internet. You will find me back here on Monday running Victory, Vigilance, and Sacrifice, a Dragon Age story of the Fourth Blight. They have decided to start by petitioning the dwarves of Orton Taig for help with the Blight. But there's a Dalish encampment to save along the way. Should be a lot of fun. More pathos for Ambrose, because he's not getting enough. And then in the evening, Curse of Strahd, she's the Ancient. And then I am streaming Dragon Age, the video game, here on Wednesdays. And there's a bunch of really, really cool games that are in various stages of planning. It should be a lot of fun. Look for more of that in the new year. Oh, including, once this game wraps, one of Santa's elves, maybe.
It's a glare. I can't see it.
Excellent. Can't wait.
And Eric, you'll be a player this time.
I know, right? That's so cool.
I'm looking forward to playing with Eric again.
Thank you. I've been Eric at Modern Plus Online. You can find me back here Friday night for this. Big thanks as always to our viewers and fans for tuning in. And remember, as always, never sit with your back to the door. Always remember you shield the mirror and be careful with whom you trust. For in the game of houses, nothing is truly as it seems. Good night, everyone.
Happy